How's it, Drew? How are we doing?
Cool. How's it, Dave? I'm really good, and you, man? How's your Cape Town weather this
It
morning?
is cold. I have socks and I have a hoodie on, and it's just
Okay.
yep. And Joburg's
Yeah.
also raining.
Ciao, bro. Joburg is raining right now. I'm sat in my car, been moving the old folks. And yeah, it's chaos inside the house. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't tend to rain in winter rain in winter, right? And the day we move and the 3 minute gap we have to load the bakkie with beds, it starts raining. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Let me just
But
open
hey,
up.
it makes sense. So let's see who on. Let's see who have we got on with us so far. Still early days.
Yep.
And I think there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot that's been happening at Dave. My side, I've viewed a few properties last week. A very interesting one with the crash, which we'll talk about today. And even though today is a public holiday, there is an event tonight, and there's lots happening this week. So we'll chat about that as well.
Always.
Um, Hey, let's see. Everyone say hello. If you're on this and you're watching, give us a wave. Again, tell us where you're from. What are you doing? It's a public holiday. Are you working or are you taking it easy?
I am definitely working. There
Are
is
you
no rest.
working?
Yeah, there's no rest for me. We got the event tonight as well. We've got the stream, which is currently not working properly because no one can see you, which I'm trying to fix.
Okay.
But
I
yeah, it's
see.
all good. It's a bit of a slow day because I think everyone else is taking time off, so I get some quiet time to do some work. But
Yeah.
looking forward to our event tonight. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's Leroy, and we all know Leroy, right? Full of jokes, and he's got some awesome golden nuggets for all of you. And he's just talking about the fundamentals, which is mainly for your beginners, or if you've been investing for, say, 6 to 12 months, and you want to get out there and you want to start doing properly, but you want to avoid the mistakes. That's where Leroy comes in. Winnie Fred, hello, how are you? Winnie, tell us where you from. Where are you from? Joburg, Cape Town. Are you in the cold? Are you working today, Winnie? Let us know. Today is Youth Day, and of course, because I'm young, I'm working. Except I'm not doing property work. I guess I kind of am. I'm helping my old folks move property, bending over, lifting deep freezers, fridges. But you know what? It keeps me healthy and fit, eh? And actually, Dave, it was kind of nice to be out of the office. To be fair, to have a lekker sandwich, some chips, and I'm going to have a drink later on just to relax and spend some time with the family. Okay, so I see Winifred says hello. Dave, who else is there with us?
I've got Daniel Kazadi here. I'm just trying to see if I can get the stream to work because currently no one can see your. Can you just do me a favor, turn your camera back off and on real quick? We can check
Okay,
that.
I'm going to disable it. So
Just turn it
it's
off and
still
on.
trying
See
to.
how it goes. But yeah,
Okay, I've turned it off. That's probably because I'm also on my phone in the car. So maybe there's an issue with it. Okay, I'm back on there.
yeah. So see, hopefully that'll fix it. Well, it doesn't seem to
Let's
move
see
my
how.
side. It seems to be
So you're
Facebook's
from
issue.
Cool. So when are you from Polokwane? Fantastic. And tell me, where are you in your investment journey? Hey, what are you doing? Are you buying, you selling? Are you looking to get started? Let me know. Um, Daniel Kazadi, I'm trying to see where I see the live participants on this thing. Okay. And Daniel, say hello. I want to see everyone just say hello in the group. I want to make sure I can see you on here. I want to make sure I can see you on here. Okay. Can you guys see my pretty face?
No, we cannot see a pretty face yet, not according to Facebook.
Okay. No worries. It could just be because this is my phone, but let me just see what he got you. I'm going to send Dave a WhatsApp picture, what I can see on my side.
Yeah, look, you're fine on my
Um,
side. It's just it's not receiving right on Facebook, which is a bit of a weird situation.
oh, is it?
Hmm. But I'm looking into it. I'm trying to get it to work.
No worries. Yeah, so ladies and gents, I wanted to share something with all of you. I went to go view a crash last week. Quite interesting, and I think that unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, I think there's going to be opportunity, and it's sad to say that, but obviously I won't mention any names or addresses, but I went to this crash, and it's about 1,200 square meters, two dwellings on the property, had about 100 kids. And obviously through COVID, they can't rent or they couldn't have the kids in. And even if the kids are allowed to come back to school, they've called all the parents. The parents are a bit dubious or skeptical about this kid coming back to school, maybe till next year. The problem is that they still have a bond. And in the words, if there's no income, I can't pay the bond. And they've had this crash for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. It's the livelihood of the family. And effectively, they don't have any options. Yes, they could sell the crash to somebody that's looking to buy a crash, but come on, let's get real. Who's looking to buy a crash in these days? The pool of buyers for buying a crash is going to be very small. To sell that as a family house isn't going to work in its current condition. You have to spend a lot of money converting it back to a family house. So I took a town planner there yesterday morning at 8. And I took an investor with me, and we looked at this going, because when I walked around it, because they're classrooms and it's a corner plots, and corner plots are generally spacious, I thought to myself, because the entrance is on the one side, and then you could put a second entrance on the other road because it's a corner plot, and there's two dwellings, and I looked at the one dwelling where easy you would get two bedroom flats, massive front garden with parking. And when I say a big garden, I mean big garden, but the structure of the property is perfect. It's just the internal layout that would slightly change. The plumbing's there because there's a kitchen, bathroom, and the same with the other dwelling, but the other dwelling is slightly bigger. So we'd actually get 4 flats out of that. So we're looking at going, well, how do we get the 6 flats out of it? Well, the first thing we're saying is it's currently zoned as a school. If you want to get in Edenvale, they say you can have up to 6 flats per 1,000 square meters, but we also need to look at changing the zoning to Res 3. So I'm busy going through that process. I've had the quote. I'm looking at 63,000 Rand to rezone to Res 3. And we're going to get a draftsman in to help us alter the inside. And I thought to myself, I'm going to be speaking to the lady this week, and my suggestion with her is maybe, because here's the thing, I'm wearing the hat of how can I help this lady? And the reason I'm saying that is she was half in tears when I was speaking to her, because it's a livelihood. It's how she earns her income. And I said, even if you want to sell this for more than the market value, the problem is when you sell and pay your debt off, that money is not going to last you. R1 million these days won't go very, very far. Why don't we do some kind of joint venture or maybe an installment sale agreement where when your mortgage relief from the bank runs out in August, we bring an investor on board where we pay all the expenses in terms of the monthly bond and general expenses and take the pressure off, and we give you, so we agree a price now and we release some of the equity to help you live. We then as investors go in there, and those first 2 flats I'm talking about, we rent those flats out because those 2 flats alone will cover her monthly bond, all the expenses of the property, so it takes that financial burden off. We then go and we start working on the 4 other flats. And to be fair, because the structure's there, you're probably looking at 2 months, maybe 3 months max. And now we're in a position where I can get some income and the seller can get some income and she gets some money up front. Now, look, she won't earn as much as she was earning through a crash, but there's nothing for her to do. We're just changing the structure, the strategy of her current property. And I thought to myself, if she doesn't do that, what other options does she have? So anyone watching this live stream right now, if you have any other options I haven't thought about, let me know. And then my concern, Dave, was, as you know, if you're going to rezone to Res 3, you're talking 18 months plus minus. But speaking to the town planner who knows the building inspector, says, look, as long as no neighbors object. So I've actually asked the owner to walk around the block. She actually used to live across the road, and just speak to the neighbor and say, this is what we want to do. Do you have any objections if we convert the zoning from a special school to Res 3? There won't be any parking on the outside, all the parking is on the inside, and then we've got to publicly advertise this. So that it goes into the 4. It's the Gazette, it's the auction, it's the notices on the school. I mean, on the actual school. And the 4th one, I think, was putting letters into all the post boxes from memory. And if no one objects, it takes 60 days. We then get permission from the building inspector, and hey, off we go. And we take this property where, if she doesn't make a plan, the only other route is to get repossessed, because she won't be able to survive until next year. And what if COVID goes a bit longer? So I'm just putting it out there that, and I use the word, unfortunately, there will be opportunities for us as investors where I don't need to go buy the asset. I can do an installment sale agreement with the owner. And you know what? I can actually give her some cash flow over X amount of years, whatever we agree. So Dave, that's the most recent one I've been working on. I mean, have you got any suggestions on that or ideas around that, or what do you think?
No, look, I think you're spot on. I think you're there. You're trying to solve a problem. I don't think there's any easy problems to solve. There's going to have to be. I think both you and the seller are going to have to make some compromises, and that's the reality of challenging deals. Is that at times it's not just you who has to make compromises. It's also also the buyer. Sorry, it's also the seller has to make those compromises. So
Exactly.
I think you're on the right track to do what you can for the person and make sure that the deal works for everyone who's involved.
Yeah.
That's the best you could do, I think.
And I think the hard thing here is that, we're always going, make your money when you buy below market value. The only time I'm going to use the word but is if you can get into a property situation like this where we can sectional title the units, which we're going to look at as well, where we're forcing the appreciation up. So right now, I may not be making money when I buy. However, I'm locking myself in for X amount of years in the installment sale agreement. I'll be getting cash flow within the first 4 to 5 months. And as soon as I sectionalize, and I've got 6 flats. So, I reckon let me just stop that.
Yeah.
I reckon the market value of property as a family house is only probably worth 1.8. But as a crash is probably worth more as an ongoing business 2.5, but now there's no financials for the property. So Dave, I'm looking at this going, could we sectionalize this? The town planner reckons we can up to 6 units. And even if we're only getting like around 600,000 to 700,000 Rand per flat, that's still close to your 4 million mark. So even if we were buying around 2 million, spending about 1 million on it, there could be obviously gross. Those obviously high numbers around 1 million Rand. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And as you said, Dave, it's all about how can I help the seller. At the same time, I'm not a charity. And if we're going to be throwing 800,000 Rand at this property, I'm going to make sure that I'm also de-risking it, that I'm not just someone giving 800,000 Rand and hoping things work out. I've got to make sure I can get the zoning. I've got to make sure that sectional title scheme will work. So there's still quite a bit of homework to do, but just putting it out there for the other people.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said, it's do what you can as a property investor to solve problems, help people. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't help everyone. And at the end of the day, if a deal doesn't work, then you'll walk away. Hopefully, no one will lose money out of it at the end of the day. So
definitely. And Daniel Kazadi is watching. So, Dan, what have you seen lately? Have you seen any flats there in Joburg? Are you looking at anything? Let us know, Dan, if you're looking at anything out there. And then what else is happening this week? We put a few offers in last week for students, so there's quite a few students looking to buy properties, which is great. Quite a few good multi-lets here. In fact, I had a coaching session with someone yesterday afternoon looking at a multi-let in the Edenvale area where there's potential profit after all expenses of 10,000 Rand plus. So after all expenses, potentially the whole remortgage strategy, bonding around 1.8 million, so getting 100% leverage from the bank. And if you can walk out with 10,000 Rand cash flow, that is a cha-ching, big cha-ching.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I want to see what everyone else is doing. I want to see what other deals people are looking at. I feel like I keep on seeing the same deals, but yeah, we passed on a deal. Yesterday came through my desk. Looked pretty viable, but it just had a little bit too much underground work for us, and it was a Durban-based deal. So the Durban-based investors give me a shout if they want a nice big student accommodation deal. I think I could pass it on to them.
Awesome. That's Durbs, eh?
Yeah, Durbs. I think it was near UKZN, around 15 million for about a 80 bed, if memory serves. I didn't look at it much because it wasn't a going concern already. So I really want
exactly.
I don't have the capacity to go to Durban, start a student accommodation building of that size from scratch, furnish everything. It's just going way too much for my team.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I think, Dave, where I'm seeing lots of our students is, focusing on multi-let properties below the 1.5 million Rand, and just, walking out with cash flow between 5 and say 8,000 Rand, especially for beginners or people with 1 or 2 or 3 negative cash flow properties. That's what I always advise my students to start, eh? Machine says the crash deal sounds lacquer. Yeah, it does, my man. And you know what? If I can get the strategy to work, I'm going to see if I can help all the other local crashes around the area. Going, can we convert this to a multi-let or two flats? Um, and this is the kind of thing I'll be talking about on my session, which is when Dave, it's Wednesday night. So maybe let's tell the guys what's happening tonight, Wednesday, Saturday, because there's so much going on, so many emails coming through, so many webinars. So if you're out there, get pen and paper and just make sure you write these dates down. So Dave, what's happening this evening, eh?
So this evening we got Leroy talking a bit about his journey. So this is one of Leroy's repeat webinars. Lots of people wanted to get on the last one, but they couldn't make it, so we set it up again. I think we got about 150 people booked tonight, so it's gonna be another full one.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's tonight, 6 o'clock. That's with Leroy. I'm gonna drop the link over there for you now.
And let's just find out, Dave. So the people watching this, Nilesh, Daniel, Nshini, Winnie, let us know where are you in your property journey, because I'll then tell you what webinar you should be attending. Are you starting out and you haven't bought your first investment property, or are you looking to buy, or do you already own, say, 1, 2, or 3 properties? Let us know in the box below. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Nilesh, we'll come back to your question in a sec. Let's just quickly recap what's happening this week, and then we'll talk about the weekend after your question. And then
Cool.
tomorrow night, we've got you talking around, what's the topic of here? The difference between positive and negative cash flow portfolio. So yeah, for those of the guys who have a couple of deals, I'm just waiting for the comments to come through.
Yeah, no worries.
For those guys.
Yeah, so I mean, tomorrow night, ladies and gents, Wednesday evening, I'll be hosting that one at 6 o'clock, and that's more for the individuals. Look, it's a free webinar, open for all, but it's mainly for people that already own one investment property. So it could be that you own a few buy-to-lets, or maybe a piece of land, and it's about how should you look at your property portfolio. Did you mean to buy those properties? Did you do the right research and did you run the numbers? Does it make financial sense? And the reason I say that is because most of the property portfolios I do review in South Africa tend to be negative cash flowing properties. And then when I said, but why did you buy these properties? They said, no, I'm looking for a plan B. Okay, great. What if you lose your job and you've got negative cash flow? What's going to happen next? And so tomorrow night, I want to workshop that with all of you. So if you want to hear more about positive versus negative, the pros, the cons, some ideas around converting it, make sure you join Wednesday night at 6 o'clock.
That'd be good. Cool. Drew, there's some questions in here. Do we want to talk about those? So I'm just missing him over here. Nilesh is saying, can a house be rented out on dorm basis, i.e. individual beds, monthly basis, shared bathroom, kitchen facilities? Does such a setup demand fulfillment legalities? What aspects should be taken care of as a property investor? I'll appreciate it. Okay, so Nilesh wants to get into multi-tenant property. She's only knows the buy-to-let space. Drew, your thoughts initially?
Yeah, I mean, if I share with you what's happening here in Edenvale, right? So remember that where we're investing here, Res 1 is allowed to have up to 2 dwellings on the piece of property. Now, if I want to convert that property, the house, into a commune, and I want to rent out to multiple tenants, so say, for example, I can put eight tenants into 8 rooms, and there's a shared bathroom, kitchen. Can I do that? Yes, with consent from the municipality. I've got to get consent as a commune. Now, if you go for consent, they're also going to ask for you to get permission from the bank. So you do then need to go to the bank and request the permission from the bank. So it can sometimes be risky if you go buy a house and then you could do all the conversions and then you ask for the consent. Look, from my experience and the people I work with, so far we've had no rejections, but just be careful if you do go convert a property into a commune, you do it and then you go ask for permission, then you go to the municipality, then you go to the banks to get that permission. That's where things could be a bit hairy. And there's a difference between, like what I was talking about earlier about me converting into 6 flats. So I could do a multi-let there, but I'll make more money by doing it actually into flats. But I've then got to look at rezoning from special school into Res 3. But my side here, Dave, where I invest, I'm pretty sure it's similar to where you invest, right? With getting permission to convert into a commune or to use as a commune.
Yeah, I think the legalities are a little more clearly laid out in Joburg as they are in Cape Town, but it's about the same. If you've got too many people, if you got, what was it? I think it was more than six people occupying a single property, six individual tenants, you generally have to start talking to the city about what compliance you need to step through. And there's a lot that they don't ask you to comply with. Fire regs are definitely something that I feel like they neglect in South Africa, Drew. I'm sure you're
Yeah,
coming from the UK as well. It's the fact that there is no fire regs for multi-tenant properties a little bit scary. So I
yeah.
would make sure that there's a fire alarm, that there is extinguishers in place, that there's maybe some fire doors, especially between the kitchen and the rest of the house. So that's definitely not there. And then yeah, I guess on the other side of it, if you're looking at this for the first time, some things you're definitely neglecting is what has to be included and what you have to provide. I mean, you're not going to generally be able to separate electricity bills between eight people. You're not going to be able to separate water bills between eight people. You can't have eight people apply for ADSL on your property. So those are generally things you have to provide. And then also, if you're looking at students definitely don't have furniture, so don't expect them to move in with a bed and a cupboard and a couch and a TV and a fridge. You're gonna have to generally put those large furniture goods in there, uh, even to the point of putting all the equipment in the kitchen, pots, pans, plates, knives, forks, all of that stuff. So you really have to look at that side. It's you have to maybe what you should be doing is finding a few comparable properties on the market, visiting them, and seeing what they do, seeing how they transact, because it's really going to help you sort of put this into the right frame of reference.
Exactly, 100%, man, Dave. Yeah, let's just see who else is out there then, Dave. I see Fulvia. Hey, Fulvia, family friend. Hope you are well and staying warm on this cold day. Machine is there and the Lesh. So they saying they own a few properties, which is great. Make sure that you do attend Tuesday night. Then you look at 3 distressed properties, Machine. Tell me, are those through an estate agent or are those private? Let us know if they're private and if you have any questions or if you do need any help on that. And Ushini and Nalesh, if you don't mind me asking, are your properties positive or negative? Are you making money from them or you're losing money? Let us know. Let us know. Machine says, which part of Edenvale are you referring to? Spill the beans. Yeah, absolutely, Machine. Yeah, there's no secrets here, bud. Edenvale, Kempton Park, the avenues in Edenvale, certain parts of Boksburg, Kempton Park, you'll find that a lot of these areas, and for me, it's the slightly better areas because there's your lower income earners and then your middle income earners. So it depends what space you'd want to play with. And that's why, when I do my one-to-one coaching, Dave, I actually take some of the students, not the e-coaching we do, but I'm talking about the one-to-one coaching where I take them to the properties. So when I go view properties, sometimes 3-4 properties in a row, I'll take them to potential multi-lets and then I'll take them to some of our students' multi-lets so they can actually see what we're looking for, where we're looking for, and that is amazing. Cool. Lesecha's just joined us. How's Lesecha? How you doing? What you doing today? Where are you investing? What you looking for? Let us know. Now, Dave, I know that we spoke about this evening was with Leroy Slava. Talk about the fundamentals in property. I'm speaking tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, talking about positive versus negative. What's happening this Saturday?
So this Saturday, it's for those, I think, the people who should be looking to join this Saturday. Again, it's another free event. It starts at 9. It should run until just before lunchtime, maybe just after lunchtime. And what we've got planned is we've got Lawrence Bull, who's going to come and talk about his property journey, how he got involved in property, and how he achieved financial freedom. And I guess he's specifically going to be talking about coaching. How do coaches work? What do coaches do? How do you get a coach? So I saw Winifred earlier talking about getting a mentor. So if you guys are looking to get a property coach, you want to get in the industry, then talking to Lawrence on Saturday is going to be a really nice opportunity. I'll put that link over there in a sec.
Big time. So remember, ladies and gents, that is 3 events, this evening, tomorrow night, and Saturday. Don't miss out. You're always going to learn. And the thing I love about those workshops, Dave, is it's not just the call it the Andrew show where we'll talk. I'll just talk. We'll workshop things. We'll bring into the conversation. We'll ask you questions and your opinions on things. So it's really a lot of fun, and you learn a hell of a lot. Let's see. So Nalesh is asking for any good reading link on the subject in the South African perspective. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of always got it from my town planner. I'm pretty sure I could get you something, but you must get for your area. Nalesh, where are you investing? Are you investing? I can't remember, was it Joburg or Durbs or Cape Town? Let me know. And Lesecha, let us know where are you? Where are you right now? Cool. And remember, ladies and gents, if you have any friends or you know of anyone that's interested in property or they want to buy their first property, or perhaps they've got a bigger property portfolio, tag them and now let them know that we're having this conversation every Tuesday. Dave and I go live at 1:00 where we just talk property. We answer questions. We let you know what's happening in the week. And it's just a chilled out session. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw at us. And we'll be open to answering those questions. Okay.
Sort of just reinforcing that, going back to what you're saying, Drew. I mean, if you're curious about how zoning works in your city, just type in your city name and zoning, ZOINING, and it's really often laid out pretty simply and pretty well in plain English by your city. Some cities are better than other, Cough, Cape Town, but it's really out there. It's their job to make it publicly available. So go and just do the research and find out what information is over there.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, Dave, what's your opinion about Cape Town? Okay, so the centers in Pretoria there. Is it easy or hard to get deals in Cape Town?
I guess obviously the first question is, what type of deals are you going to look for? I mean, I do have the philosophy that every area is a good area, so I think all areas are investment grade. I think if you're looking for buy, refurb, and sell, I think Cape Town's still a great space, especially if you can provide affordable stock here. I think if you're wanting to build a buy-to-let portfolio, you should probably go somewhere else. Who else is there? Machini, I know you're in Cape Town. I am too. It's cold, but yeah, buy-to-let just doesn't work. Our average yield in Cape Town last I checked was about 3.7%. So you're just not going to break even on an average buy-to-let property. Multi-lets, you got a better chance.
No, 100%. And Dave, if you look at where I live in Edenvale, and I look at your Boksburgs and your Kempton Parks and certain good areas, areas right around the airport, we're picking flats up for about 350 to 370,000 rand, and we're getting rents close to 5,000 rand. So providing the levy in that specific complex isn't ridiculous. People or investors it's a great place for investors to start or to buy the second or third property, because it's good to have a foundation of strong, profitable buy-to-lets where you're making money. So these flats where they're worth around 440, 450, pick them up for 350 to 370. So you're making money when you buy and they're positive cash flow. So it starts to create a nice little foundation for a beginner investor. And once you've got a bit of experience behind you and you're okay, great, I've now got a profitable property portfolio, I've got some equity now, let me start doing a few more or a few multi-lets around the million rand and then start building it from there. What did you say, Dave?
No, 100%. I agree. It's that foundation. You need to have the stability. Buy-to-lets aren't the prettiest, sort of most fun, exciting sector to be in, but they're stable and they're low risk, so you need them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Lesecha says, come this side, Stella Mutuze, for some lessons. Where's that? What's that?
She's calling one of her friends over to come watch the video.
I see. Nice. Okay, let me pop it in there. Okay, so Bart says there's no go, of course. Let's see what else we got. And what else are we doing this week? Dave. Yeah.
Danville's just asking if we're doing events in PE. Danville, still COVID-19, still lockdown. We're not doing any in-person events. When we do start rolling out events again, we don't know when it'll be because we have to obviously wait for lockdown regs. And then even then we'll start with really small events, test it out, try find out feed, because our events, how they looked at the beginning of this year and last year, are going to be very different to how they look in the future after COVID-19.
Exactly. And I think, Dave, it doesn't actually matter where you are in the country. And that's the big advantage that we have now, ladies and gents. Whereas before, we would run events in each city, right? But obviously, we have to spread it out and we have to fly the whole team over. Now we have the opportunity to run events every single week, and providing you can get a computer or a laptop and a decent internet connection, we make our trainings very interactive. It's not just you sitting there with a boring speaker. We have fun. We give prizes away. We do competitions. We run live deal analysis. So we take you through live deals. And my last workshop, Dave, I think 2 weeks ago, I called an estate agent, had my camera on, and I was going through investment properties with the estate agents while all the students were watching me. So we make it interactive. So just make sure you do join those workshops. Doesn't matter where you are in the country. And the great thing is, we do then bring up property coaches, and Jade is from PE. So we'll start talking about deals in PE, deals in Cape Town, deals in Bloemfontein. So I actually think in a unfortunate way, it's been a blessing in disguise, because now we can reach more people quicker, and we can help you build a profitable property portfolio. Okay. Is there anything else in there, Dave? I see Little King joined us. That's awesome. How are you? Little, where are you from? What are you investing in? Are you starting out, or do you have a property? Okay. I hope everyone's having an awesome, chilled out public holiday today. I'm busy moving my parents-in-law's house, so that's quite a task, but it's awesome to be out the office. It's good to get some good exercise. It's good to spend some time with family and just chill out. Okay, Tanda Cecily says, I'm listening. I'm in Joburg. I'm also in Joburg. I'm sat here in Edenvale now. Would like to purchase my first property. Can you see that there, Dave? She wants to purchase her first property. Please make sure she attends tonight. Awesome. So Dave will post a link there, and listen to what Leroy's got to say this evening. So he's talking about the fundamentals. He's going to help you not make that first mistake. And I think for you, we need to make sure that we're buying an easy deal, or perhaps a buy to let. Let's make some money when we buy. Let's get some positive cash flow. We've actually got, I think, one of those deals left. If anyone's interested, you've just got to connect with Nico. I think there's one more flat left. It's in a good area. It's a buy to let. There's some equity in the deal and some cash flow in the deal. So just reach out to Nico through Sapin Connect. We'll post a link, or we'll just give the info at email address there, whichever one you prefer. And that is for Tandalishle, if I got the name right. Tandalishle, if I got the name right there. Awesome. We'll certainly help you out. And that's the thing, you're actually in a good position, because people do come to us with 2-3 of their buy to let, and unfortunately they've overcapitalized and they've got negative cash flowing, but we can still help them. But if you're looking to buy your very first property, just let us help you get it right. Awesome.
Cool. There we go. Links out.
Awesome. Reach out.
Sure. Little.
So we can.
Awesome, looking forward to seeing you at that event. Let me post the other one over here. So for those of you guys who have a few properties in the portfolio, tomorrow night's really a good one for you, Andrew and I. Mostly Andrew. I'll probably pitch in, because I can never sit there quietly.
Exactly.
It's a good tag team. How to take that portfolio forward.
Yeah. And Liesle, have you told us where you're from? So you said you're a property investor, but where are you from? Liesle, let us know, what are you looking to buy? How can we help you? Remember, that's what the Property Academy and the SA Property Investors Network is all about. We're an organization that's set up for property investors that believe in abundance, believe there's more than enough to go around for all of us. And you've just got to reach out and say, hey, gents, I need some help. Where should I buy? What should I buy? Some of you may want a one-to-one coach. Some of you may be happy with just some basic training. And some of you want to get the next deal. Whatever it is, we can help you. Okay, so there's a good point there about Mashini reminding all investors to always read the financials of a complex before buying in a complex. Let me give you one of the many reasons why. Mashini, you're 100% right. I met an investor years ago, Dave, and he bought a property here in Edenvale for cash, right? And if you're buying for cash, you don't need to see a COC. You won't need to even look at the financials, even though you should part of your due diligence. But this guy didn't know that, right? So he bought the property thinking he got a good deal on the price. However, when he flipped the property, he tried to sell to a first-time buyer, and the first-time buyer then went to Standard Bank, and Standard Bank asked for a copy of the financials, because when you're buying cash, You don't have to see it. You want to see it, but the amateur investor doesn't know that. Um, when the bank saw the financials, they rejected it. Absa Bank rejected it, and the first-time buyer could not get a bond because the financials. I've never seen a mess like that in my life. They were behind, they were in arrears, they were a mess, and the body corporate was a mess. And this person was stuck with the lemon. Can you see how easy it is to make those mistakes if you don't know what questions to ask? So, Machine, you're 100% right.
Cool. Drew, here's a question we can hit. And I guess this question feels like a question we get every week from Sipa Mandla. What's the best way to get discounted buy-to-let deals? How do you reach those sellers? So I already responded telling Sipa Mandla to check out my course, the Deal Finding Workgroup. We're spending a lot of time talking about that process. But other than that, Drew, what's working for you at the moment? How are your deals coming to you now?
Yeah, so I think, Dave, the first thing for all the listeners, anyone can go to an estate agent and pick a deal off the shelf. Anyone can do that right now in South Africa. Not everyone can go buy a below market value deal that's positive cash flowing. So first thing I want to say, David, is not easy. And you do have to apply and try different strategies. So I do certain things like, and Dave actually helped me put together my website. That's what Dave does on his training, is he actually help you build your own website from scratch to help you create funnel marketing on the internet. So you start funneling all these leads through the internet, but you're targeting a certain area. So here in Edenvale and the East Rand, one of the ways that's really working for me, Dave, is my website. And then what I do is I do leafleting in the same area. So my leaflet will say something like, "We buy properties for cash. Do you need a quick sale? Are you facing repossession, divorce, immigration? Do you need to unlock some equity?" So I'll try different brochures. Some work, some don't, and I'll put a website address or a phone number, and I'll say, call me now. So if they do call me, the first thing I say is, how did you hear about me? My leaflet or the website? So now I know that they probably fall into one of those categories. And the second thing I then do is look for motivation and equity. This is where it gets a bit more complex there. This is what you talk about in our training, right? How do you know how motivated they are? How do you know how much debt's on that property? How do you know how much equity is in that property? And that's where you got to learn how to analyze these deals. I won't be touching too much on that tomorrow night, Dave, but I know, Dave, I think what's important for the people out there is they don't know how difficult it is to get hold of these private sellers and to get that in volume. Why don't you give them a high level view as to what you do with some of our students?
Yeah, so I guess first and foremost, I'm with Drew as well. Same, online's sort of the best way. I'm transacting routinely. There's physical media that works well, but what it really does fall into, what it really comes down to, and that's what we talk about on the work group. It's not about what strategy you use. It's you need to use multiple strategies. You need to get a few strategies coming through the same place, because if you just rely on Facebook ads, you'll only get a certain type of lead. So on the group, we really spend time on what strategies can we try? And at the moment, we just finished a whole section on Facebook ads and Google AdWords and that process. And then next up, we're talking about how do you do physical media. So it's having those multiple inputs coming to the top of your funnel. And then we spend quite a bit of time on, once they're in the top of the funnel, where you've got a name and an email and a phone number, what do you do with them after that? How do you take them down a process where you've done a viewing, you've done your research, what questions should you be asking all these potential sellers? So that's really the whole process. We focused on that journey of how does that client, and we treat them as clients, how does that client experience your business? And like Drew said,
Exactly.
it's not just put an ad up and expect leads to come through. I mean, even if you do put an ad up and leads come through, the conversion of that lead is a completely different process.
Exactly. And a big difference here, everyone listening. So the two properties I'm busy looking at. Let me give you a prime example. That crash I was talking about, Dave. I am direct to the seller. I met the mom, the daughters, and I've met the son. And the negotiation is so open. It's so easy. Without hardly any effort, Dave, I basically got myself an installment sale agreement, right? Because I was able to explain how what I think is best for them and how I can help them. However, the multi-let we're looking at is through an estate agent that knows absolutely nothing about property, unfortunately, as in nothing. And every time we try, and this was yesterday, hey, we had her on loudspeaker, and we tried to say about, It's an old boy that wants to move to Nasna. He wants to get a boat. So he's going to need cash flow as well. This is on retirement. So instead of putting a cheeky offer in, look, we can give you a bit more for the property, but let us pay you out of the cash flow moving forwards. And all we got from the agent there was just put your best offer on our OTP and send it to me. And I'm like, no, we will now call the seller direct. We will not cut the agent out. We will make sure the agent gets commission. And I said, you call the seller and tell the agent to meet us this Wednesday and let the three of us have a conversation. Because I said to my student, we're not going to do the deal through the agent. Let's go straight to the seller and tell the seller to invite, because we've said to the agent, hey, invite the seller. And the agent's saying, no, it's got to go through me. But I know we're not going to. I know the agent does not know what installment sale agreements is. So you see, that's the key, ladies and gents. You've got to learn to get to private sellers, and this is where it's not as easy as you'll think it is. And that's why we have so many of our students going through Dave's deal finding work group, and we'll be talking more about that later this week, I think, Dave.
100%. Yeah, we've got that course is constantly growing and expanding. We're always adding videos and content. It's really a fun space. It's been one of the courses I've enjoyed the most, because it's not a set it and forget it sort of thing for me. I'm there every week answering questions, helping people, criticizing is probably a strong word, challenging their thoughts, their processes, analyzing what they're doing and giving them feedback. So it's a really nice sort of change of pace for me from the course's perspective. It's really hands-on.
Okay, nice one. There's a guy here, Leashley, if I got that right, Glenwood. I need to get him Kendall's number. So he's struggling to fill some properties in the closest CBD of Durban. I know of probably one of the best letting agents in Durban. His name is Kendall. Dave, I don't know how you want to connect Leashley to Kendall.
Leashley should know how to get in contact with me.
If you get in contact with Dave, I'll share Kendall's number. Give him a call and see if he can help you. And he's very honest. If he thinks you've bought the wrong property, if he thinks your property is not good, he's going to tell you exactly what he feels. He's been doing it for about 20 years now, Durban CBD. He is a property investor. He buys and sells. He buys and rents. He sends me videos every week as he drives through Durban CBD, and I love them. Hey, Andrew, that's the building with 15 flats. That's where the guys from Europe are buying. This is where they're doing all this work in the waterfront. And I'll tell you something, Dave. I got the 3-minute video from Kendall about Durban CBD and the waterfront and the plans they've got. And I'm starting to get excited about Durban, actually. So I think we need to take a closer look at that area.
No, it's a good market.
Yeah. Who else? We got Marisha. Hello, Marisha. Hoe gaan dit? Hope you well. Hope you're having a good. I was going to say Saturday. It's a Tuesday. Staying warm at home in Josie. Sipa Mandla. Cool. Looking forward to learn more on the road. We're still reading through the unit 2. Cool. So, Sipa Mandla, you're from Pietermaritzburg, aren't you? So you're on the deal finding work group, which is brilliant. Okay, brilliant. And yeah, so I think, Dave, maybe a recap for this week, because a few of you joined us. Remember this evening at 6 o'clock, Leroy Slover from Boksburg is going to be going through the fundamentals of property investing. And he's going to be covering quite a few different topics around investing here in South Africa. And then myself tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, I want to be talking to property investors that own at least one investment property, whether it's positive or negative. And I want to start going to a bit more detail around the benefits, the pros and the cons of a positive versus negative cash flow properties, and what questions should you be asking yourself about your property portfolio. And then, Dave, what's happening on Saturday?
We got Lawrence running pretty much a half-day workshop from 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, it's free. All of these webinars are free for everyone to attend. All that we ask is that you just sort of figure out which webinar is best for you, and you join the one that's most appropriate. Lawrence is going to be talking about his journey, financial freedom, and some of the strategies that he used to achieve financial freedom. And we'll be touching specifically on structures, taxes, but also how does a coach help that process, and what does a coach do to get that process done. So I've put all those links in all the chats. I think I've hit all of them. So yeah, it'll be a fun week. And there's some new stuff for us as well. We're trying new things out to make sure that we're staying fresh and giving you guys new content every week. It'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. And just remember, ladies and gents, if you got friends or family that, whether they want to buy their first property, or they having issues, or they want to build a bigger property portfolio, let us know. In fact, Dave, I was at the hospital yesterday, for my nose. And the doctor says to me, and he's a surgeon, right? And he says, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "Bang, here we go. I'm a property investor, and I help people like you invest in property." And now he's interested in buying property. So you never know, and he could be a JV for some of you. He's, these busy surgeons, these doctors, these business owners, they've got capital, ladies and gents. They don't have time to go out there and look for properties. So that's the kind of stuff we do go through training. How do you connect, and how do you start working with people with money?
100%. And I think I just want to reinforce something now, because I see some guys saying they'll attend all of them. You don't have to attend all of them. We've designed them so they suit different people at different stages. So attend the one, look at all three of them and see which one you think is most appropriate for you, and put your energy and focus on that, and then take action out of it. You can come to all our events and watch all the webinars and watch all the videos. You can sit at home and watch them. It doesn't mean that you're going to achieve something. What you need to do is look at what's suitable for you, what works for you, attend that, and then apply it. Just watching videos isn't going to help you find the deals, and that's the nice thing about all our courses and all our programs is it's about practicality. We give you things that you need to go do and apply. So you're not going to be able to manage everything. Just do what suits you, what works for you. That's what you need to focus on.
Exactly.
Cool, Andrew.
Okay, no, brilliant, man. That sounds good. I think I'm done. That is a very quick 45 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to get back to moving boxes, setting beds up, setting kitchens up. I'm here working with the parents-in-law, and I think we're getting some pizzas and maybe a glass of wine later. Who knows? And yeah, Dave, have a good Tuesday, and the rest of you have an awesome week. And remember to keep looking for deals.
Awesome. Cool. Drew, thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. The links have all been through the chats. I'll put the links again in the description of these videos if you're watching it that's not live. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks, Drew. We'll chat later today.
Cool. Nice one. See you guys later.